Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully everybody is doing well. You're not going to like this, Dylan, but tighten the hell up. Welcome back to another episode of the Tighten Up Time podcast. I am your host, Adam Raymer. Real quick, before you do, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe, hit the like, send me comments. We want to hear from you. I will respond to all of them. Got a good show. It's obviously Titan Saints week 10. Got a great show. Got my buddy Dylan Hebert. I was going to butcher it. I promise. That's why I asked you before this. He is our resident Saints guy.
Yep.
So, how you doing, buddy? You doing good tonight?
Oh yeah, man, doing good. How are you?
I'm here.
Yep.
I'm wanting to get right into this. So, I want to talk about first. I want to talk about your team a little bit, and the first thing I want to talk about statistically, looking at these teams, man, you guys obviously statistically are a little better on defense than we are. I think we've played great the last probably 3 or 4 weeks on defense, but and offensively I think we're a little bit better. Now I don't know. I don't know if I can say that now with Derrick Henry being out. We don't know what our running game still is going to look like. But I want to know from you, with Jameis Winston going down, what that does to the quarterback. Obviously, we know you got Taysom Hill and you got Simeon. And I don't know. I'm assuming that Trevor's starting now, right? I don't think
Mm-hmm.
Taysom's going to be your starting quarterback.
Mm-mm.
Um, I mean, he won you some games. Was it last year?
Yeah.
But what does that do? Because I thought Jameis actually was not playing horrible this year. You know, coming from Tampa Bay, where he's the first. I think he's the first quarterback to ever go 30 for 30.
Yeah.
But kind of being with Sean Payton now, I think he was playing pretty well this year. What's that do to your team right now?
I feel like with Jameis going, just going down the way he did, I feel like it took the entire heart out of the team. Trevor Simeon came into that Tampa Bay game and played phenomenal. Because
Yeah,
usually when a backup quarterback comes into the game with absolutely no preparation at all, they
yeah,
typically run the ball, and then if they don't get none, they punt on fourth down, and then they just lose the game outright.
yeah,
Trevor Simeon came in there and was just throwing, throw after throw, and he was doing really good, and
yeah,
actually led us to a victory over the Super Bowl champs.
yep,
But then you fast forward to the following week against Atlanta, a game that we did horrible in. The
yeah,
receivers couldn't catch the ball. Trevor Simeon, I found was really doing good. He was doing good passes. It's just the receivers couldn't catch.
yeah,
Kenny Stills couldn't catch.
yeah,
Traquan Smith couldn't catch. Adam Troutman, who is somebody I've had really good praise for from
mm-hmm.
last season. He's been so underwhelming this season. I feel like we just don't have a tight end. There was one that went on waivers, and unfortunately, the Saints didn't get him because Tampa Bay went out and got him. Of course, Tampa Bay had to get everybody with Darren
Right,
Fells.
right,
So yeah, Darren Fells went to Tampa Bay. So I feel like our tight end position is still wide open because we don't really have one. And
yeah,
Jawan Johnson, who went from receiver to tight end, was a healthy scratch last week, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. It was a
right,
horrible decision by Sean Payton to put him as a healthy scratch, but I just kind of feel like the team shifted more in a negative direction with Jameis's injury.
yeah,
And but the thing is that Trevor Simeon is playing really good. It's just the receivers are not there to support him.
yeah.
Uh,
I actually think Simeon's a decent quarterback. Like, I mean,
mhm.
I think he can fill in. I don't know if he's an every game starter for a good team like that. I think he can come in and be a backup and lead your team to some victory, or lead a team, in this case your team, to some victories. And I haven't watched a lot of Saints games, obviously, but you know I just thought, for me, with Jameis coming, he gets named the starter over Taysom Hill. He was playing pretty good football until he got hurt, and that injury looked nasty to his knee. By the way,
It
the
did.
guys that work for me or work with me are all Florida State guys. Obviously, Jameis coming from Florida State, so
Hmm.
they're a Jameis guy, and we watched that video at work. I said, "Oh my god, that just looked horrible." But it's nice to have, uh, and I don't know if you consider Trevor a quality backup quarterback. I mean, from the looks of it, from what he's done so far, I think so. I mean, what he's proven to do. but yeah, I'm going to tell you the one person on your team I don't care on offense that scares me, and it's Kamara. I mean, whether it's out of the backfield, running the ball, or catching passes in the flat, that guy can turn 2 yards into 50 real quick.
You can, yeah.
And that he's the one guy on your team right now on offense. I would have said Michael Thomas,
Yeah.
2 years ago, because I've literally got that man in fantasy every single year, and all he does is just put up touchdowns and yards every game. But I think Kamara is obviously somebody to watch for us on the field. Defensively, if you were to say right now, defensively, who's the better team right now?
That's a tough one because with each team, you never know, which
Yeah,
defense is going to come out. Because is it going to be the Saints defense that came out against Tampa Bay?
right.
Is it going to be the Saints defense that came out against Atlanta and was down 24-6 with 7 minutes to go and finally decided to start playing football?
Yeah,
So it's kind of hard right now. But the Saints, I mean, their defense is this is one of the best defenses I've seen from the Saints in years.
yeah,
A solid secondary with Lattimore, with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, with rookie Paulson Adebo, who's actually playing really good. Demario Davis at the linebacking position, who I find is he's honestly one of the best linebackers I've seen in the league,
yeah,
and he's very underrated.
yeah. Flip side to us, our secondary is depleted this year. We
Mhm.
lose our first round pick in Farley. Christian Fulton hasn't been healthy. Uh, I mean, we got Kevin Byard, who I think is a top 5 safety in the league. And we've had guys step up where I think the Titans are successful at one, and especially lately, is the front seven with Jeffrey Simmons. And thank God the Colts, you guys are idiots. I'm sorry. I know I've got some Colt fans that watch me, but thank you for giving us Danico Autry, because that man has been outstanding, especially the past, I'd say 3 or 4 games on at least getting to the quarterback. Even if he's not bringing the quarterback down for sacks, he's getting hurries and pressures, which, that's everybody always asks about keys to games, right? And it's like, oh, don't let the quarterback get out of the pocket. Like, that's a key to everybody's game. Rush the quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, it's get to the quarterback and make him do something stupid. But that's what those guys have done for us lately, and I'm hoping this is just me. You are correct in saying you don't know what kind of defense you're going to get, and I don't either, because are we going to get the Chiefs like when we played the Chiefs? Are we going to get like when we play the Jets? Are we going to get the Bills game, for instance, where they still got theirs? We just ended up doing a couple more things on defense and won that game. Or last week against the Rams, nobody gave the Titans a chance in hell. And even we were talking before the show, neither did I. I didn't pick them to win. And I run a Titans podcast. So it's going to be interesting to see, because you're missing your quarterback. I think defensively, I think both teams are going to play pretty well. I think offensively for us is, how is the run game gonna get back going this week? After another week of practice with Peterson and Foreman being back there, and two, are we gonna be able to affect Trevor for you guys to maybe make some error throws, or just throwaways, something to where you guys aren't electric down the field. That what worries you about the Titans? And it can be offensive, defensive, or both, whatever you want. I mean, what worries you about them? I mean, for me, it would be, for you, would be, they're so fucking hot right now, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They just keep winning and they're on a high. Is this the game for the Titans, though, that they come back down a little bit and after a huge? I don't know, but I want to know your thoughts on what kind of, if anything, scares you about the Titans.
Well, if you would have asked me this a few weeks ago, I would have said Derrick Henry.
Oh
I
yeah,
think Derrick Henry scares everybody.
yeah,
But now, the Saints' run defense I find is really good.
hmm
We don't give up many rushing yards, and with
no,
Adrian Peterson back there, I feel like it's going to be a test for that Saints defense. It really will.
hmm
But right now, I think offensively, what scares me for the Titans is AJ Brown.
hmm
This guy is really good, and I think it's going to be a true test for Marshawn Lattimore.
Mhm.
Lattimore had a tough game against Kyle Pitts last week, and for him to cover a tight end the whole game and look really bad as he did, I think it's going to be a true test for Lattimore.
Let's be real. Kyle Pitts is listed as a tight end, but that man's a fucking receiver. I mean, I watched him.
Yeah,
Obviously, you did too. You're an LSU fan. I'm an Alabama fan. We know about him at Florida. I mean, the
right,
guy's huge, but has 4.5 speed. You don't see
right.
that out of tight ends a lot. But you are right. Yeah, I mean, Kyle Pitts is just a freak of nature to me. I think that guy's going to have a long career.
Oh yeah, and also this kind of something that scares me. I guess you could say on the Saints end is Alvin Kamara going to play because he did not practice today. I know he had that knee injury
Mm-hmm.
against the Falcons, went into the injury tent and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So right now he is our offense.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we make a sudden signing of a certain Odell Beckham who is on our radar right now,
Yeah.
then we don't have an offense if it comes to Alvin Kamara being out. So
Yeah.
I'm very worried about that.
Do you worry about that Titans D line right now with how well they're playing?
Oh,
and
absolutely.
and getting to Trevor, you know what I mean? Especially if you don't have Kamara to dump it off to and try to make something out of nothing. That's what I'm saying, man. Like for me, and I'm not a homer. Like I root for the Titans. I guess we have season tickets. I'm all about the Titans, but I'm realistic, right? Like I'm realistic, and I know our schedule is really favorable to go probably. I mean, honestly, if you look at all the games we have left, we have the potential to win all of them.
Hmm.
I mean, we've got Texans twice, we got the Dolphins, we got the Jaguars again, we got the Patriots, who I think we could beat. I mean, honestly, this game here and maybe Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's not great, but they just they do some things well, and it's Big Ben, and you just never know what you're going to get from them. But I mean, honestly, this. I'm not being a homer. I think we can win like 13, 14 games this year.
Hmm.
And my whole thing with this is I want to win this game right here so bad because it's probably one of the better games we have left on our schedule. We went
Hmm.
through a gauntlet already with Buffalo, Kansas City, the Colts even, and then obviously with the Rams and now with the Saints. Technically, I think you guys should be 6-2, not 5-3. With
Right.
that loss against Atlanta, honestly, we should be 8-1. But yeah, I don't know if Kamara doesn't play, dude. Holy shit!
It changes the whole
Honestly,
outlook of the game, honestly.
like what do you do? I mean, who? I don't even know who. Oh, you got Ingram.
Yeah, Mark
Hey,
Ingram's back, yeah.
roll Tide, baby. Look at him. We ain't getting none of that Bayou Bengal stuff on my. I can't believe I let you wear that shirt. No, I'm joking.
Oh yeah, dude, I had to wear
Um,
it.
I had to wear it.
Oh yeah.
What I don't know, what do you think the outcome, what do you think is going to happen in this game offensively versus defensively? Do you think you guys hold up the Titans offense? Do you think your defense, do you think your defense plays better? Do you think offense? I think it kind of leans back to what if Kamara's playing obviously for you on offense, but do you think that defense can hold up against our offense right now and do enough to win the ball game?
Right now, yeah, I really think we can.
Yeah.
We had a tough game against Atlanta, but Atlanta always plays us tough. Those divisional games always play you tough. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what their record is or
Mhm.
what our record is. There's always a tough game against Atlanta. But then you go into Tennessee and you're down CJ Gardner Johnson because I read earlier that he broke his toe.
Mhm.
So he will be out. So that is a really big key piece that we're going to be missing on defense. But it's just next man up for us.
Right.
So honestly, I really think our defense can really hold that Titans offense. And also being down Derrick Henry, I think that is huge for the Saints defense. Because honestly, even with our good that our run defense is, I feel like we would have had a ton of trouble with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, most teams do.
They do,
Uh,
yeah,
it's funny. He'll have 75 yards one game, 80, and then he'll bust 2 games in a row with 160,
right.
and it's a huge loss for us. Obviously, I actually think not vice versa. I actually think the run game is going to be a lot better this week for us. I'm not saying we're going to go off 150 yards, but
Mhm.
I think that Adrian Peterson being in practice, we signed him on Tuesday and the man started on Sunday for us. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. Uh, but he's AP, right? Like I know he's 36. Everybody's it I don't care about that. That if the man's in shape and he can still play, he can still play. The one thing they kept talking about, and if you go back and look at that game, he was running upright instead of getting down. And I think he'll look at that and see that. I actually think we'll be able to move the ball better this week than we did last week against the Rams. I don't know if it's going to turn into points. Hopefully it will, but
Yeah.
I actually think the difference in this game is the battle of defenses, and I think whoever comes out and plays, if we come out and play like we played last week, you guys are in trouble. I'm just going to say it. I mean,
Yeah.
there wasn't a team in the NFL last week that I think could have beat us the way that the Titans came out on defense. You get
Oh
down
no, no.
20,
Oh yeah.
you get down 21 points in the NFL, it's hard to come back, man. I mean, it's
Oh
just
yeah.
very hard. So
Yeah.
I honestly think, you know, for our sake, I don't know. I think the defense is going to still be pretty good. I think they're still going to be off that high. I don't know if it's going to be as good as it was last week, but um, I did hear. I think Christian Fulton is actually coming back. He's designated for return. So if we get him back in the secondary, that's obviously a little bit of a bonus for us. But what are we at? 16, 17 minutes in. Let's just go ahead, man. Let's get a score prediction. I want to see what you say. And if you pick the Saints to win, I'm removing you from the stream right now. No.
Ah man.
No, you're good. Pick your team. Pick your team.
Oh, of course I'm picking the Saints. It doesn't matter who we go against. The Saints could be winless on the year. We could play an undefeated team, and obviously I'll still pick my Saints. It doesn't matter to me. Because going into week 1 against Green Bay, no one gave us a chance. And of course, I still picked the Saints and look at the outcome.
Yeah.
It still worked out good for me. So
Yeah.
this is gonna be a close game.
Okay.
Tennessee is gonna be a tough game for us, and that's one that I circled on my calendar for one of the toughest games that we had this year. With Dallas coming up, we got coming up in a few weeks.
Yep.
We got Philadelphia and everything also. So Philly can be that tricky game as well.
Yeah.
They saw they weren't good last year, and they ended up beating us in Philly. Taysom's first loss as a starter with the Saints. So,
yeah.
so these games can be tricky, and this one I feel like can be tricky as well. Because you're not sure what Tennessee team's going to come out. It could be that Rams one, or it can be like when y'all lost to the Jets.
Jets. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is gonna be close. I can see the Saints winning 27-21.
Okay. I'm gonna go opposite of you. Not that's gonna be close. I still think it's gonna be semi-close. I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go 30-21 Titans.
Okay.
I think, and this is my reason why. I think our defense is going to affect Trevor a little bit too much, and he's going to do a couple. I think he's going to make a couple of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and that's going to lead to some points. I don't think it's going to be as much as we affected Stafford. I think, but I think we're gonna do some things. We're gonna flip the field somehow. We're gonna, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a great game. Actually, like it's not gonna be, oh my God, blowout, or. And I think there's going to be points scored. It's not going to be it's going to be defensive, but it's not going to be, a 13-10 game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to go 30-21 Titans. Only, and one other reason why I got a little higher, because it's in Nissan Stadium in Nashville. And
right.
I think the place is going to be packed and just ready to go. AP first home game with the Titans. I think it's just, we got a lot of momentum going right now for us. And you guys coming off a loss, I think you're going to be up as well.
Yeah.
So I think it bids well, dude, for a great game. Before we go, I want you to give an impact player who you think is going to impact the game most, and then we'll get out and I'll give mine.
I want to say Alvin Kamara, but being that we're not sure about the injury and everything, if by some chance he's ruled out, which I really hope not, I honestly think Mark Ingram's going to have a breakout game.
I love Mark Ingram. Obviously, he went to Bama, but yeah,
obviously,
yeah. Mark Ingram, I like it. I think for me, I think for us, I'm going to go defensive, and I think Jeffrey Simmons again
Mhm.
has another good game on defense. Again, I don't know if he's going to get 3 sacks again, but I think he's going to be disruptive. That man is he's huge. I would not want to be an offensive lineman going against him. So I
Mm-mm.
think Jeffrey Simmons has a good game, and again tries to do a little make Trevor Simeon do some make some errors. So we will see, man. We'll have to catch up after the game. I usually, like I said, do my instant reactions, obviously, right after the games happen to get them out there while everything's fresh. But, man, I appreciate you wanting to come on and talk a little Titans Saints, and
Oh yeah.
we'll see what happens. Maybe we should have talked when Alabama and LSU game came on.
Ugh, yeah.
Dude, I was so mad, honestly. I was so mad in my if you go back and watch my video, I was like livid
Oh
with
damn.
that team. But that's neither here nor there. But I appreciate you, dude, coming on tonight. We'll touch base soon, and we're gonna wrap it up. Again, if you guys please can go hit the subscribe button, hit the like, send us comments. I want to know. I actually want to know predictions from you guys. So send them in the comments, and we will see what happens this Sunday against the Titans and the Saints. I end my show every week just like this. Tighten up.
I don't know who that.